how valuable they were. These Bible verses questions societal ideas that have pushed women to edges of the society and instead shows their divine purpose. As it says in, I already mentioned that Genesis chapter verses 1, chapter 27. So God made people in His own image. In the image of God they were made male and female. This text stresses that both men and image of stresses that both men and women are made in the image of God, which means they are valuable and important in the same way. The Bible story of how the world was made doesn't show any kind of order between men and women. Instead, it says that both men and women are made in God's image. This view goes against archaic ideas that make women less important and instead shows how important they are to God's plan for humanity. Paul asked in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verses 19-20, Do you not know that your bodies are home for the Holy Spirit who lives inside you and was given to you by God? The idea that the body, whether it is a male or female, is holy and should be treated with the care and honor is emphasized in this text. So it is said here that women's body are holy and deserve respect, even though they are often seen as objects or ruled by social rules. In Luke chapter 1 verses 30-31, the angel Gabriel tells Mary, "Do not afraid, Mary, you have found favor with God." This verse also reminds us that women's bodies are not just tools, they are active parts of God's bigger plan to save the world. So the fact that women were so important, the story of resurrection shows how important they are spiritually and socially. In Matthew chapter 28 verses 1-10, women were the first to see and tell others about Christ's return. In the world, women's voices were often ignored, so this was a sign of times. Still, Jesus told them the most important news in Christian history, that God had defeated death. As the first people to see the dead body rising from the dead, they challenged the idea that women should not have a spiritual power and showed how important their bodies, views and experiences are in the faith community. The Bible, although androcentric in its content, feminist theological recovery of biblical text reveals that they value women's bodies as distinct and valuable. Feminist theology maintains that women's bodies are sacrosanct since God created them in God's image, that we can see in Genesis, should be nurtured and appreciated. So, food is an important part of human existence, nourishing not only the body but also promoting mental and emotional well-being. The Bible emphasizes the importance of food for the body sustains, highlighting both God's provisions and people's duty to take care of their health. Church leaders should encourage equality, just as Christ provided Himself for everyone. The church must fight for fair food and healthcare access, especially for women. The Eucharist theologically confronts oppressive institutions that starve women. Christian theology affirms the inherent dignity and values of human body, emphasizing that physical well-being is as significant as spiritual nourishment. The doctrine of Imago Dei teaches that humans are created in God's image, and this includes not only the soul but also the body. The body is not mere vessels of spiritual existence but a sacred part of human identity, deserving care and respect. So feminist theologians advocate for recognizing women's bodies as a sacred and emphasizes holistic health that includes physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects. They call for justice in food distribution and women agency over their bodies to combat gender disparities. The significance of the table fellowship and the Eucharist promotes the inclusivity and justice, challenging norms that prioritize men. Ultimately, the paper urges faith communities to prioritize women's health, recognizing their dignity as a creation in God's image.